Today's mostly
sages tell us that charity, tzedakah, redeems redeems us from death, and even more importantly, it actually is the precursor to bring the final redemption, to redeem all of humanity. That's a very powerful statement, that charity is so powerful that it will redeem all of humanity. How could that be? What is the power of charity? How is it so strong, tzedakah, that is so redemptive? We've explained that, first of all, with the money that you have, you could buy your sustenance, you could buy your clothing to protect you in the winter, to make you look good, your shelter. And even if those basics you have, you could always get better quality food, better quality clothes, and better quality housing, or anything that will be sustaining your life. And now you take it and give it to another. You give it to a person that needs, or an institution that needs. And even more so, that money that could be used for yourself, how did you get it? Well, often it's blood, sweat, and tears, as the saying goes. You have to work hard for your money. Some people, it could be physical labor, literally. Today, we punch a lot of buttons, and touch a little here and there, and all of a sudden, oh, maybe money. I don't mean slot machine either, right? Computers. So maybe you don't have to work as hard, but sometimes we have to work very hard for the money that we earn. So we put our very being into it, and now you're going to give it away. That charity, tzedakah, is a true indication of taking something that is very much part of sustaining my life, and I worked hard with my life to get it, and now I give it to another, is a huge, amazing statement about my readiness to act in a divine way. It's truly a divine act. And hence, our sages say that we will be redeemed specifically by being charitable. We experienced that many years ago, at least I did, and others. By Lubavitcher Rebbe, on Sundays, he would give out dollars to people when he met with them, with thousands of people every week. We give out every week anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000. $1 bills, one at a time. And why? Is because if two people come together, there should be a benefit for a third. And that benefit, so he's encouraging, inspiring, charitable giving. So he gives you $1. Now, of course, we kept the dollar that the Rebbe gave us, and we exchanged it for another $1 plus more, in order to be charitable. And we see the more we give, the more often we give, and the more we give, the more refined we become. Because life then isn't defined about my self-directed concerns of my survival or my things that I want in my life, but I'm there for another, for their needs in their life. That's an amazing and beautiful thought. Welcome to Tanya Today. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zichron Kadeshim in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Firstly, l'chai, l'chai v'bracha, to life and to blessings. No, perfect. We conclude today the fourth letter that the Alter Rebbe sent to communities and to inspire, actually, charitable giving. But here he takes it to a different degree. And now he brings all the ideas that we've learned previously, and he brings them together. So we have that it says, Tzedek lefanav yahalech, that righteousness, charity, causes to go before God. What could go before God? How do you get to go before God? Something causes you to get there, right? So the word lefanav means before him, also because you go within you. When you can touch the depths of your heart, the inwardness of your being, right? So there's something that gets you to go, that you can go. When you go there, right, then you go before God. In other words, when you are authentic, when you're touching the core of your heart, of your being, which is beyond the rationales we'll explain in a moment, you go and you stand before God. What gets you there? That the verse says, tzedek, righteousness, which is the same word for tzedakah, charity. The charity is what will allow you and enable you to get to the core of your heart, to your inner being. Charity will the innermost point of your heart, then towards God. So what will be the result then? So what does that do when you touch your core by giving charity, right? Then that will result that you will walk in the ways of God. As the verse says in the book of Devarim, of Deuteronomy, and you shall walk in God's ways. What does it mean to walk in God's ways? Well, to be like him, right? What does it mean to be like him? Huh? Yeah, but of course, yes. Well, that is bittul, right? It means that it will bring you to do another mitzvah, to do God's commandments, to do what God needs from us, right? Which will be the study of Torah, as we're doing right now, which is remarkable. Everybody's here, right? Studying Torah together, amazing. It will bring us to that. And the study of Torah actually is an equivalent to all of the mitzvahs, all of the commandments. That's how powerful the study of Torah is, right? So the gateway to follow God's path, to be godlike, to be divine, is through the charity that reaches to the inner core of your heart, to the inwardness of your heart, and then it will bring us to study in this manner, in an intense way, that we will be bound up in one with the divine. Now, this is greater than, the world speaks about mindfulness. And if we're mindful, which is important, and it is a path in divine service, mindfulness, because mindfulness brings in and informs the heart. It brings a feeling in the heart. So when you're mindful about your Creator, about your personal relationship with God, about God, how he is found in the world, how he is beyond the world, and you're mindful of all of that, that's of course going to feed the heart to bring a feeling towards God. But that's only causing, that's a means to an end. The mind touches the heart, but it only touches the external part of the heart. The external part of the heart. The inner heart, the mind can't reach, because the inner heart is beyond intelligence. It's beyond awareness. the inner heart, the truth is we're not really aware of, the depths of our heart. However, we can touch it. That's the charity that we give, gives us the capacity that we can touch the inner heart, that therefore we could be godlike by studying Torah in a manner that will radiate upon us. And it will radiate upon us in a manner that will cause peace.
That's right.
Will cause peace. As the verse says, as King David says in Psalm 55, Pada b'shalom nafshi, God has redeemed my soul in peace. What is peace? So peace, we understand it in various ways. Peace here means charity. How come? Because what does charity do? Charity obviously creates peace amongst humanity. Because when you're being charitable, you're creating peace amongst people, right? The haves and the have-nots have now come together. That creates peace. But it's even more than that. It creates a peace between us and God. So my soul is redeemed in peace. I've created peace between myself, Israel, and our Father in heaven. So through the redemption of souls that are truly part of God, we bring peace. Peace between us and the divine. Very powerful idea. So this is what the act of being charitable does, right? Concludes the Alter Rebbe this letter that this is charity anywhere, right? Here in Montreal, right? Or wherever you live, right? As parenthetically, I'm going to just go off from the Tanya in a moment, but just some of the laws of charity is that you're obliged to be charitable to your, of course, charity begins at home, which means your extended family, if they're in need, you need to take care of them. Then you have your community that you live in, right? Which, by the way, includes the community that we have here. Online community, right? We live together here every day when we study together. So that includes, right? And those in need doesn't just mean an actual pauper that doesn't have, but it means the institutions that help others. And as our sages say, poorness is really, in the end, only not in the pocket, but of the mind. That we are poor in our education, we're poor in our understanding of God, we're poor of our connection with God. And that's what we're doing here, to educate, to bring everybody closer to the authentic me, which is in my inner heart, that connects with the divine. So just parenthetical of the idea of being charitable. The Alter Rebbe says, especially here, being charitable for the land of Israel, which is truly the charity of God, because it's the Holy Land, it's God's land, and therefore the people there. As it says, the eyes of God are upon the land from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, constantly there, and therefore charity that we give there specifically is what the Alter Rebbe is speaking about. The Alter Rebbe in his day collected charity for Chassidim in the Holy Land. At that time, the Holy Land was under the Ottoman Empire. It was such a destitute place. As bad as it was under the Tsar of Russia, where the Alter Rebbe lived, it was much worse for the Jews in Israel. So he collected funds. And of course, as those who know the story of trumped up charges against him in 1796, he was sent and was imprisoned for 53 days, which gave us 53 chapters of the Tanya, on charges of primarily as abetting the enemy, which was the Ottoman Empire, because he was sending charity there. Of course, he wasn't sending it to, the forces of the Ottoman Empire, but to the Hasidim there who needed the help in the land of Israel. In any case, this is charity that will stand for us forever, the souls of the true life and the fountain of life, and we should be enlightened with the light of life, which is God. May his face radiate with us. Amen. Amen. May it be his will. With that, we conclude the fourth letter. Fascinating, the power of charity that allows us, and when we give it, and as we explained yesterday, in the giving of charity, if you give it in a ball and chain, you miss the point. If you give it because you are compelled, rather than you understand that this is something I want to do, I must do, because that's what God wants and needs from me. This is the privilege that I have that I can give. Powerful. Well, we can look at it that way. And of course, the law is that we have to give minimum 10% of our net earnings. If someone is having a difficult time, we still have to give. Even poor people who collect, by the way, they have to give. It might be a small amount, but a small amount to God that's given truly as a devotion, a true devotion, is extremely meaningful and beautiful. Here, I just want to thank, yesterday I reached out to people. I want to thank several people stepped forward and they give. We're in the midst of our campaign of a monthly Chai Club giving, and multiples of Chai, 18. And I want to thank those that came forward and those who didn't get a chance. And if you can, that will be more than amazing and beautiful. And I thank you in advance. Any questions, any comments? Let me see. I don't see any questions. Remind you when you ask a question, if you don't mind, put 2 question marks first. Makes it easier to see that there's a question. So on TikTok, question is a 10%. Yeah. Among other ties, went to the priests, then the poor, then widows. So actually, 10% tithes in the Torah went to the Levites, not the priests, not the Kohanim, went to the Levites. The Kohanim and the priests, they got 2% of agricultural, of the agriculture. The Levites got 10%. And then there was another 10% that was used to, for an individual to go up to Jerusalem and celebrate with God in Jerusalem. There was another 10% for 4 out of the 7-year cycle of the sabbatical year cycle, and then for 2 years it was for the poor. Yes, exactly.
Is that why that thing goes to 20%?
That's how the 20% comes up. Yeah, exactly. 10 and 10. Yeah. Is there a landing page? Yes, actually there is. chabadzichrn.com/Chai Club. Thank you, Henya. Yeah. Okay. I don't see any other questions. All right, Rambam is coming up. All right, amazing. All right. What does that mean? Don't know. Okay. Oh, how does leaving the crops of the edge of the field for the poor be done today? It's not. I mean, yeah, I mean, those laws are, yeah, things are a bit different. All right, more to come, folks. Thank you very much. Have an amazing day. Actually, TikTok, just give me a second.
Please.
Hold on one second.
This is for